Alright, you guys, so what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of J&L Garage. So today's video is going to be a little bit different, as you can tell. I have a little bit of explaining to do, but I'm going to make it short and quick because I always talk too much in every single one of these videos. So I have been spending way too much money on a project that is not what's in that trash bag. So I have gotten really big into four-wheeler riding here lately, going to mud parks and things like that. And I have bought a few things for this four-wheeler. So some of these next videos is going to be four-wheeler content. But nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So today, I'm going to be mounting and making my own headlights, basically, for this four-wheeler. Well, I'm going to basically just be making my own bracket. So I got these flush mount LED pods with chaser halo rings on the inside of them. And basically I'm gonna take some sheet metal that I have from an old race car, and I'm gonna fabricate it to kind of look like that, but it's gonna cover more. And I've seen a few mounting holes in the back, and I'm gonna try and make all that fit back there kind of nice and pretty. It doesn't have to be real good because obviously it's gonna get put in the mud. But I'm going to be getting all that wired in and hopefully working. And really the biggest thing that I have to tackle right now is making the brackets. So nonetheless, I'm going to go grab the sheet metal, and I'm going to go ahead and get some of that cut and see about getting that fixed. Well, first things first, I'm actually going to take the headlights out. Alright, so I kind of got a little ahead of myself before filming real good for you guys. But I haven't really done too much. All I did was take these two front covers off and the headlights. Sorry about that, blinding you guys there. But pretty much I got both the headlights out. It's just one screw, and then there's two little tabs that hold it in. And then I ended up taking this piece off, which is where the headlights actually mount to. And I'm really happy that I did. Which, I mean, it's really simple. Great thing about Polaris is they are all plastic, but they're really easy to take apart. And it just so happens that there's 3 unused holes here on both sides that have deep little gullies. I don't know what you would call those, but anyways, there's plenty of plastic back there for a screw to really get a bite to. So I dug out these screws, and they are about the right length and everything. Let me put these over here so I don't spill them. They're about the right length, and they are for sure the right size. So I mean, oh, not even filming for you guys. There we go. So as you can see, that's going to be about right. And since I'm only using sheet metal, I was really worried about mounting on the backside, about it being kind of flimsy and floppy. But with me able to secure it from 3 points on the front side like this, and then it fit flush behind this piece, because all that will actually be hidden. And I'm going to spray paint it black anyways, the sheet metal that is. So with it being behind this and these screws, which, I mean, this is not going to do a whole lot, but with these screws here securely mounted in all 3 corners there, I think that's going to be really sturdy. So I think I've pretty much got a really good game plan out now. It'll be really easy for me to cut these out. I just have to make sure I don't put anything in the way of this hole, because that's another place where this plastic slots in, and also here. But other than that, I really think that's about it. So I mean, I can really get a good cutout and everything. I'm fixing to just go take some shears and cut the sheet metal out, and it's white right now, but that doesn't really matter. I'm just going to take it and, you know, draw everything out and cut on it with the Dremel for a little bit. And I'm probably going to end up cutting it short somewhere, like a noob. But yeah, this thing is actually, I think, going to turn out a lot nicer than I think. Sorry about the rain noise, or if I'm possibly yelling to get over the rain noise. But yeah, so that's my move for now. So I'm going to go ahead and go get the sheet metal and cut me out, you know, 2 big kind of rectangles, and then I will start cutting on them from there, and I'll try to show you guys my progress. Alright, so I've been doing some cutting and grinding and everything else, and I finally got this about where I want it. As you can see, it doesn't really protrude over the black plastic any, but I want to get these screw holes all pre-drilled before I do anything else. And there's going to be a few corners that I kind of want to polish off so they're not so sharp and things like that, and I obviously still have to paint it black. And I also have to make the actual cutout for the light pod. So I believe the next thing I'm going to be doing is for sure going ahead and drilling out the holes and making sure it will mount. Alright, so I've got the first plate mounted, and as you can see, it's a little floppy right here in this corner and down here, but I mean, for the most part, it's probably sturdier than the plastic at this point. I obviously still have to paint it black, but I have to make my cutout for my cube to sit in, so I'm not going to worry about painting it just yet. And I just so happened to cut a not big enough piece of sheet metal to make 2 of these plates. I'm trying to decide on if I want to go ahead and make the measurements and cut the cube out and make it fit in this and see what the finished product would be like, or if I want to call it quits for the night. I'm having a hard decision on that at the moment, but I think I am going to give it a shot because since I've got this first one done, it took me about an hour and a half to do. The next one should be really quick because all I have to do pretty much is draw this shape out and then cut it out and then just kind of grind it down as I go, and then I'll already have both of my my plates made. And then I have yet to figure out how exactly I'm going to make the actual cube squares, because I want them, you know, really well centered for the most part. So I think I'm actually just gonna flip it over like so, and then I'm gonna actually draw this shape out and then do some measurements and stuff like that, since this is the back, and then go ahead and draw out my cube where I want it to sit and then mimic it on the other side. It obviously doesn't have to be perfect because of how far apart they are, but I want them to be really close to where when you're standing there looking at it, you have to really look at it in order to tell that that I goofed. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go grab the next. I'm gonna go ahead and take this back off, dry it and clean it real good, and outline it with my Sharpie marker, I guess I need to go ahead and do the other side first now that I think about it. So yeah, I am going to go ahead and go down there to my dad's shop, Yoda's shop, and go ahead and get that cut out, and then I can go from there. Alright you guys, so I ended up getting the second piece cut out and mounted. This is it right here. And I do obviously have them flip-flop, but it does not matter. They're going to be painted black on both sides. And I went ahead and sketched out the square, the basic square that I need to cut in order to get the pods to go in there. But it is a little late at night, so I'm not going to be doing any more cutting and grinding tonight because I obviously don't want to piss off the neighbors. So I am going to be calling it quits tonight. But you guys will not have to worry about that. I'm just going to roll on into the next clip, I believe. And so tomorrow, if that is the next day I get to work on it, I'll be able to get this mounted, and then I get to start working on wiring and things like that. Yay. But I have one single problem that I do need to point out. I have to find a place to mount this switch, because this is what actually controls the pods. Once you send power to it, if I'm not mistaken, everything is controlled by this button. I was playing with it earlier, but I believe everything is controlled by this button, or maybe this is just the halos. I can't remember, but I do know that this actually controls the pod, so this is actually going to be the headlight part of it. And I was going to try and do something, you know, spiffy with that and make it mount on this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, to be honest with you, in the long run, it's not going to be worth it. So, I think I'm going to pop this panel off tomorrow. I think it's just a screw here, and then there's some on the front and stuff. And then if I'm able to take that off, and there's not just gumbo of wiring in there that's in the way, I'm just gonna mount this switch. This switch is the only one that needs a hole drilled, and it just pops in place, which is kind of crappy. I wish it was a kind of a nut deal, but it'll be alright. I'll pop it in somewhere right in here, and then I'll just take my other switch and run it out with the handlebar or something, and it'll just be glued. It's got double-sided tape that'll mount it on, and then both of the switches will then be mounted up high and out of the way. I have yet to lengthen out the power side of the cables, because I also have to mount my RGB box. I need to mount this fuse somewhere where I can easily access it. How do you get this double open? Yeah, so just a basic 30 amp fuse in there. And I also have to find somewhere to mount this relay. 40 amp 14 volt, huh? Maybe this is gonna work with my four-wheeler. Anyways, I can figure all that out, but that'll be in the wiring portion of the video, or if I decide to do this separate, that'll be in the wiring video, because my lights and everything are going to be mounted up front, and meanwhile my battery is right there, so that's going to be a bit of a challenge for the most part, but that pretty much sums it up for that. So I think I am going to be making this into 2 different videos, because if I don't, it's going to be rather long. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out part 2. I believe part 2 is going to finish us up with the wiring and the actual pod installation onto our new brackets that are very, very solidly mounted. And thank you guys for tuning back in with J&L Garage. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, have a good one.